Anything?
Yeah, I can hear that. I haven't heard Space Monkey yet.
You had it? Okay.
Right. I signed out and back in.
Gotcha.
There you are. Hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Bye.
Hit this show on the road.
Yeah, whenever,
A whole
James.
lot to talk about. So, yeah.
You said you do or don't have a lot?
I don't,
Okay, gotcha.
but that was the case on Friday, kind of. So, you never know.
That's right. Well, we can start. Not a whole lot has happened in the Sunday night futures session. The main thing is that currently still trading inside of Friday's range. We did attempt to clear the Friday high overnight. We were unable to do so and then faded back into range. So that's most of the overnight movement. As far as the gamma positioning today, we are still in negative gamma, so be aware of how that can affect price movement up or down. Can see faster, larger moves in either direction. The main areas where there's gamma positioning is 7,800 is a fairly strong ceiling. If we were to see that today, likely a good rejection area. Early in the session, 7750 is kind of your pivot. That's right where we're trading at the moment. If we can hold above 7750, we can try for upside towards the overnight high, all-time highs, and then 7800 potentially. If 7750 were to fail, we've got support at 7725, so possible bounce area there, and then larger pullback if 7725 were to fail. So my main watch is on the edges of those. As always, best to avoid the middle. So I would like to short 7800 or be long at 7725.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning. Not a whole lot I'm liking this morning. SpaceX will be continue to be on watch for continuation today. We had a nice trade last week on this. Reviewed that yesterday in the accelerator, and this is still in play. So we're just going to continue to keep an eye on it. As far as trading it and getting involved today, it's mostly to me about the Friday high, which we're reacting to now perfectly. So 133.48. If that holds, we'll look for entries long for continuation. I do have 135s as a roll up on for this week. I'll look to take profit on at the open. And then if we can manage to hold that, look for continuation toward 147.49. 149 is that IPO opening low. So I think we can get there this week if it continues back under 133, 130. Likely takes a little longer to set up or just turns into slightly different type of trade. So initially off the rip today, it's all about that prior day high. And then if we dip below that and kind of get caught, it'll likely take a bit longer to resolve. But all the dynamics are still at play here. So I like staying focused on it. And then everything else is a bit more routine. To me, I'd put SpaceX in a little bit better than routine in the A category of just stock selection for now still. That's all I
Right.
got.
Thank you. PLTR 170 calls above 168.72. This would be continuation move. Really great week by PLTR last one. Recovered 200 day, held on back test, push into highs, close near the highs, and we're right below Friday low high. So 168, 170 zone is important on the daily. So sorry, 165 to 170. That zone is important on the daily, and I would, I guess, anticipate price testing that maybe today, maybe over the next few days, and then get that continuation move. But there's a lot of momentum here, so I'll be watching that continuation above Friday highs for potential move towards 188, 190. That's the top of that previous bounce area that we were in for quite a while. So
Also,
PLTR,
really reset on this dip, just so you know.
okay,
RSI.
okay, yeah. So open drive is potentially available for us as well, something to watch. Yeah, Airbnb. I mean, this is just a continuation off of last week's move. A bit of a character change on this, at least judging by the last few days. Um, Talked about this over the weekend, but recovered the IPO day high, which has been trading below for quite a while. So, as long as we're above that, what is it, 165? For me, I'm a little more bullish on this one. Uh, the question is, does it continue today, or does it put in a few inside days, then continue? But in terms of continuation, just watch Friday highs for push higher. One that is, I think, very defined is Marvel. Like what it's doing here. Say higher low on the daily, making its turn, breaking that kind of trend line on the daily. It's now above the shorter term moving averages. It has a 50-day at 240, 241. So that would be my next target if it can hold above last week's highs, around that 222 or so. So Marvel could be something to watch, a little bit of surprise maybe. And then Nvidia, obviously, really good look for this one. Last week, a huge move to the upside as it broke that trend line on the daily. Once again, the moving averages are curling to the upside. The 9 is stacked the right way above the 20 and the 50. So it potentially has started a new uptrend here if you can sustain. That's just what it means. Um, so I'm watching that 224, 225 for potential move to 230, 232, 30, and then all-time high. So there's a lot of momentum in this one. Uh, Earnings is ahead for this one. So yeah, well, I'm watching for maybe a run into that. Meta. Yeah, really nice kind of buy up after earnings, I would say. They bought it up after that really ugly gap down, and that's a sign of strength. And so um, I'm watching 600, 603 zone, or sorry, 602 zone. So those 2 points are very important to me. In terms of the structure in the pre-market, really nice check back here. It actually moved towards 610, and it has since pulled back a bit. So we're right at that 602, right? So it's kind of validating that in the pre-market. 600 is not only the psych level, but it's also the 50-day moving average. So, we know what 600 has done to price over the last 6 to 8 months. So 600 is important. That's why the 50 is sitting right there. So I would watch that 600 very, very intently today for a hold, which is right above Friday highs as well. So a lot of things kind of lining up there. But I do like the way it looks in the pre-market. We're watching this one at the open. Um, Before I forget, I'm just going to add Microsoft here because it's not in the watch list. Um, After we added the watch list, there was a headline out regarding Microsoft. Um, they're due to unveil next generation Maya AI chip. So the market liked that. It actually broke through that um, pre-market high around 500 early on that headline, and we moved all the way to the high on Friday. So pretty ugly close on Friday. Just kind of analyzing it here live. Pretty ugly kind of pullback on Friday, but it's coming back here. So my question here would be: do we move towards those highs again? 505 clean break there could be something to watch. 500 hold. So those 5 points is your range, or are your range, or is your range? Sorry. Next would be Marvel. Okay, Marvel is making a nice move here, so not really sure why, but I'm sure there's either a headline or it's moving on something. Is that a Microsoft headline that's affecting this? Maybe. I don't know what the connection is there, but I was watching 222 on Marvel. So very defined level here, and I've gone through it. I just went back to it. I'm seeing that it's moved up quite nicely here. So on this one, 222 back to 225 hold is what I would be watching. Pretty extended here, so you want to see it kind of cool down a bit. Next here, a couple more. HNGE, that's Hinge Health. Really like the daily look. I really like how the daily looks. Really strong day on Friday. Obviously, earnings behind us. Market shaking that off. And I'll be watching for new all-time highs on this one first. Um, the reason I like continuation of a Friday high is that it was a very strong day on Friday. And so, in terms of positioning and earnings and all that, I think there might be some short covering, potentially chasers here. So, I think this 90.40 could give us that all-time high around, just a few cents above. And then I think we can move towards 100 if we sustain that momentum. So, um, something to watch in terms of the way it looks here in the PM. Just kind of consolidating near the highs. So any dip here is worth watching to buy for a long. I've never really traded this option wise, but something to watch. Alternatively, stock comment. And then lastly here, Oracle. I like this one above 149. I think the daily looks good. I think it's trying to make a bottom. This is part of the software basket, which has been relatively strong as of late. And so that's why I do like this one for at least a move towards 160. So I'd be watching that 149, 150, break of that simple trade towards that 50-day moving average magnet above at 160. And then if it does break higher, I would target the 200, which is at 180. So Oracle, interesting. It's trying to put in the bottom here and might be due for a push. That's all I have for you all. Sarang has a few more names. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, uh, so I think I'm watching couple of names. The first name is Meta. Meta actually, if you look at the daily structure, the 600 area, we had a nice base below, and we had a catalyst also today. So I think Meta has coming up with some AI models. I think open source AI model. I think that might be the reason for the Meta to pop. So what I'm watching is at the open, maybe if we see a dip below 600 and we reclaim above 602, 603, we'll be watching opening drive on Meta. That's the one. And second, I'm watching LMT. LMT, if you look at it on the daily structure, 594, 595 area, we are basing below that, and we had a news like. I think the Strait of Hormuz is again closed. So let's see if we reclaim this 595. Uh, we'll be watching maybe 600 and potentially higher on the on the LMT. Third name I am watching is SK Hynix, SKHY. If you watch the daily structure on SKHY, so this 133, 134 area, I think we held many times. And so I'm watching a dip below that one. So let's say 130 34 area to break and targeting 128 to 126 on SK Hynix. So there is a weakness in memory name. If you see Micron, SNDK, all are looking weak. So I think the weakest one is SK Hynix. So we'll be watching a dip below that one at the open. That's the one. Yeah, Marvel also I'm watching this 225 area. I like it on a daily. So but we are just capping bill above that 225. So we'll see if we form some kind of a intraday pattern. So generally I have noticed this stock first 15-20 minutes will be a choppy from the both side. If we see a base around some level and then if we reclaim, then I'll be looking to play the calls on Marvel. Those are the name I'm watching.
Thank you, Sarat.
Hey, Mate, can you take that next segment? I
Yeah.
just gotta do something for it.
Yep. Gotcha. What are
Thank
we
you.
watching,
All
guys?
right.
Post your names in the chat. We've got about 4 minutes until we need to focus in for the open. This X, why did it reject 140? Why? Doesn't matter. But that should be important to watch. Let's see. It's holding 133.50. Apple. Apple fast drop in the pre-market. Down 1%. Middle of a range, but it's not a bad looking opening drive lower to 307, 305, 307. Needs to reclaim. Really needs to get back above like 314, 315 for me to like the upside. It's been holding on because it's building sort of a longer bear flag. So below 307, I like the downside. Could front run that on the open to targeting 307. Back above 311, 314. Maybe better for longs, but a little bit tricky. RKLB earnings. Let's see. Nice R vol. The RSI on this looks really good. It's slipping a bit lower though into the open. Not a great nuance. If this holds 83.25 on the open, I like it as a long. I have a gap fill at 92. Yeah, that could be something today. You want to see buyers step in immediately on the open and get away from this 83.25. There's plenty of energy available for that based on the RSI, but you need price to validate it. So yeah, if buyers step in, I like it. And the risk reward's really good against 83.25. Start dipping below that, I consider it trickier. Hewlett Packard, really good looking daily. Really coiled up here. Inverse head and shoulders. Harder day trade, I'm sure, just with options, but don't really see much structure for the open either. But the daily looks really good. So watch above 54 as long as it holds 54. So you're just pushing higher above the 50. Check back to the 9 on Friday. Looks good. Looks good for a swing above the 9. MDB. I like all these names, all the software names. MDB now are two of my favorites. A really good comeback here. This to me is a sign that a bigger trend could start to emerge on these names. When you look at MDB on the weekly in particular, this is a really massive consolidation window that it's close. It's getting close to breaking out of. So from a swing trade perspective, you start to break out of this trend line. I think you could see a multi-year trend start in these names. I like the context that IGV got kind of crushed earlier this year as well. It's a bit of a washout in some of these software names, and then now you're really starting to try and turn the corner. So my thoughts on MDB a little bit more big picture than in the near term. Near term, you just want to see it hold its near term moving averages. I don't really see a day trade maybe over the prior day high as a continuation. It's more like day three. So a little bit more caution there. 400 psych level is right there at that prior day high as well. So I would just trade 400, and then from a swing trade perspective, I think this is gearing up for quite a move. Apple cremation, hilarious. Um, Marvell, yeah, we talked about a lot. So definitely holding that pop. I think that is what Space Monkey's calling out here. Is when you get a headline pop like that and it doesn't just give it back, that's a really good sign. So,
Right. Actually, Microsoft back tested 500 just
oh
now,
wow.
coming back. Yeah, so pretty strong there.
Okay.
Let's see if they continue it. Yeah.
All right, so we're about to get to the open. I would say focus on Marvell, Microsoft, see how they react for opening
Mhm.
plays. SpaceX, a little bit more patient, I would say, but if it holds 133.50, we have 149 above. And then Airbnb is a pretty textbook continuation play. I would just be careful with the spreads. Premiums might be tough at the open. I think that's one I'm okay missing at the open. So I would focus in more so on Marvell and Microsoft with this headline, and then we'll see what SpaceX does. At least that's my take. Market open.
Yeah, Microsoft testing those highs, headline highs, breaking through.
I'm taking off half of SpaceX 35s.
Microsoft strong move.